All right, let's get right into this. I do want to explain something. I typically do videos, and you might wonder why I do so many videos and why I do it so regularly. I like to keep current, really, show what I'm doing, and it really that's all it is, just to stay updated and be current. I don't really have an idea to go with right now. I was gonna talk about just things in general. So last night I put up a lot of content and I thought it was really good. There was a lot of content on we did self-development. And I think pretty much the message was, and I used the Daredevil example. When Daredevils used to do stunts on TV since the 90s, they always had this message. Even when they went to commercials and they came back, even at the beginning of the show, there's always that message that says, do not try this at home. This can be very dangerous, etc., etc. I gotta tell you, I had to sometimes pick between dangerous and stupid. Sometimes you can be around things where people are getting credit just for doing stupid stuff. Really, people are getting credit for how stupid or how much risk or how wild of things they're doing, right? And they're kind of taking credit, and this is not just aimed for a few amount of people. It's for this is many people who do stuff like this. People are getting credit for how stupid they are. People are getting credit for learning things on their own and doing stuff like that. And at the same time, it's good to create your own identity. Let's get into that for a second. Now, let's say, and I'll tell you something funny about myself. I grew up in this neighborhood, which is a very isolated neighborhood, okay? And there were kids there, and I never wanted to go and join them in any of their activities. Okay, I never joined them, and I was always hearing, "You should. Why don't you? Why don't you?" And I never did. I never associated with any kids. I didn't even talk to any kids in the neighborhood. I wasn't doing any of that. In my old videos, I used to talk about living a life almost like a ghost. Just ghosting like you're not even there. But that was the case, and I think it's in life when you realize, even when you have people around you and you're like, I don't like this fit. I don't like what this is, and that's when that can set you to go off in your own path, right? So typically in nature, how do we have it? Let's talk about birds, for example, right? Typically, as far as I know, and I just got general knowledge from watching a lot of nature documentaries. This is some of my favorite stuff. I used to watch it a lot back in the day. But for example, everybody knows about the bird. You have a bird lays what? Let's say the bird only lays one egg instead of, they usually lay many eggs, but the bird lays one egg, right? The egg hatches, a little baby comes up. Now the mother, typically what it does is it goes, it'll eat a worm or it'll eat something. Right? It'll bring something back. Maybe it's dead, and it'll bring something back. The mother chews it up because the chick can't really digest it. The baby cannot digest it, the baby bird. So chews it, and then and sometimes it even eats it a little bit, and then regurgitates it and puts it in the mouth of the baby bird. Then it teaches it basic things, and the little bird in the nest keeps practicing little things. When the bird is able to fly on its own, it flies away, right? And that's typically how it works, and the thing is, I hate to say this, but there's a lot of garbage in this world. There's a lot of people that have, and it just astounds me to how shitty they can be and how bad and shitty their standards can be. I mean, people will literally say stupid stuff like, the little baby bird shouldn't fly out like that until it's way older. The baby bird isn't ready. The baby bird should do this and should do that. And there are people out there, and that's why I am ashamed to associate with some people. I'm ashamed to associate with people who are so shitty inside. When someone's so shitty inside, I don't want to associate with them at all. I think they're a piece of shit. And it's not about equality. I don't believe in equality, by the way. Equality. Okay, let's finish it. We'll get to equality. But basically, the bird. Forget everybody. When the mother is confident that the bird can fly away, leaves it, the bird flies away and does its thing, right? And that bird has its own life and figures things out its own way, right? That's pretty much what we were getting. I don't need to break everything down because I did quite an extensive amount of videos last night. So we'll get into equality. There's no such thing as equality. When babies are born, From the moment babies are born, every baby has a different weight, a different size, a different look. Babies have different, babies have everything different. Babies are just born different. And then, and then obviously you take the baby out, and every baby is treated differently. You go to a restaurant, or you go by the water or something like that, by a popular area or something. And like, imagine taking your baby to like some kind of party place, or some kind of like beautiful place with a lot of cafes and beaches and things like that. The baby right away is probably feeling like he's he or she might be getting a lot of attention. The baby's people are walking, oh my. And obviously, to say that babies are stupid is just, that's stupid. Babies know what's going on. The baby understands when people are like, oh my, you have a beautiful baby. The baby can comprehend that, understand that. From that moment it begins, and that's purely, that's all. I won't use the word superficial, because I want to give it some quality and credit. It just people look at me, oh, this baby looks very cute, this baby looks very strong, this baby a little fatter, this baby a little thinner. It all goes on like that. Oh, this baby is absolutely adorable, and so on and so forth. Then the kids enter school, and right away, academically, they're not equal. Who's equal? If 25 kids write a basic test, let's say on the alphabet, or whatever the case is, they write a basic spelling test or something, there's maybe 2 or 3 kids who had matching scores. Every single kid has a different score. Then the kids get older, they do sports, and then some kids are better for certain sports. If they get to a certain sport, then they have kids that they're competing with in that sport. We get older and older, and we never have equality. Equality is just even if we have, there's no such thing. People talk about having a utopian society. Our society in our world is incapable of 2 things: being equal or being utopian. Okay, if instead of democracy, we called it utopiocracy, right? And we came out with this thing, which was supposed to be this beautiful utopian model. Believe you me, people have a way of getting their ways across. Okay, equality never lasts, because it's not just people, it's the animals. It's the law of the planet. These are laws of the planet. Utopia never exists, because at some point somebody's gonna say, I'm not feeling good right now, I don't like this, and I'm about to take an action that is so anti-utopian. Even if they're with the whole utopian thing, they could be on the board, and they could be like, I really hate this shit. I'm on the board of this utopian autocracy or government, and I absolutely hate it. But I'm still gonna come in every morning and take a seat and sit in the parliament, for example, or sit with the founders, or sit with the board members, and have a good little chat it up. How you doing? How's everything going? Oh, how's the kids? Oh, how was your trip to wherever? But deep down, I hate that shit. And there might be others like me. There might be some who are even part of it and are for it, and they still have feelings where they go, this is really stupid. Like, I hate this shit. Next day the guy takes an action. What does he do? Maybe he does something legally, but that's bad. He might legally go to a really bad restaurant and take their license away. But I thought it was supposed to be equal and utopias. What about this restaurant should be allowed to survive even though it's shitty and it's doing nothing for us, and they're doing a horrible job? But you go and you shut that restaurant down. You take away their license. You fail them in their health, which you knew they were gonna fail. But you went against this utopian autocracy. And it'll just happen over and over and over again. You could be the most liked person in the world or the most disliked. And when it comes to this utopian mentality, it's all wrong. I used to believe in that too. I always thought that anything negative is a mistake, and you should be as positive as you can be. Meaning without mistakes and without all that stuff. I used to believe in that, and I realized that it's just not practical. That's not the way this world works. People come up with these silly utopian ideas. Like, they come up with it themselves. What if the weak were on top and the strong were on the bottom? You don't know how far you are from the laws of this planet. What if we promote the weak and we demote the strong? And I believe you me, the same people who are founding it, who are pushing it, will fall victim to their own utopian ideas. Equality doesn't exist. I went to Cuba. Cuba is supposed to be a communist country. Believe it or not, most of the cars there are from the 50s. Okay, they were shipped from America in the 50s. You know, then America put an embargo, nothing could come in, and they couldn't have vehicles. So Castro passed a law where I think they get like $1,200 a year just to maintain those cars because they're unable to ship them in. So they just basically give you an extra amount of money to help maintain it and keep that engine going and keep it going. They have a lot of smart people there, by the way. Now, what did I find? I went by some hill one day and I saw a beautiful little house by the hill with a brand new Russian automobile. How did he get that Russian automobile in there? Who knows? But it was a brand new Russian automobile and it wasn't bad at all. You know, so this whole utopias and this whole equality thing. The thing is that, you know, I mean, this law could never work on this planet. Even if we were all the same animal, if you were all rats, for example, if all of us were rats, right, we'd still separate. Or you'd say, no. But what if we were all the same color of rat? What if we all were white rats? It still wouldn't work. You know, the nature of this planet has gravity, and that's a fact. Gravity pushes you down. You know what I mean? There's oxygen in this world. There's all sorts of laws in this planet. And none call for equality. Equality is more rare than it is common. You know what I mean? We will always start breaking out and fighting for inequality. That's not just human nature, it's the nature of any living being on this planet. There are even plants that want to put their roots further, that want to block off other plants, that want to take soil away from other plants, that want to take nutrients from other plants. So it just doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in genders, in races, it doesn't exist anywhere. And anyways, I think I've set it up. That was a good little video right there. I felt good about it. Last night was quite extensive, but I had a few days off, I guess. But when I brought the content back, and here we are again, and we'll end this video right here. And again, it was definitely a good video. I might even watch it back, just to kind of see how it was.